Alright guys, it's Funk Roberts here from funkmma.com here with Mac Danzig. Mac, nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. So first question is, how important is strength and conditioning for you to your preparation for fights?
Oh man, it's paramount. I mean, the mental preparation is the most important part, and I feel like the strength and conditioning is right there, right after it, along with all the techniques that you have to know. That's one thing, especially nowadays, that you absolutely cannot hold back on. You've got to be in shape. You know, it's the worst thing in the world to have everything else be perfect. Your skills, your techniques, your mind, but your body falls apart. That's the worst thing, and so there's no excuse for that. You got to be in shape.
Awesome. Now, what is your go-to exercise or go-to workout every camp? You know that you love doing it. You know you've got to have that piece in your training.
Well, you know, there's not. I wouldn't say there's a specific exercise, but there's a certain routine of basically sprint work. Sometimes, like CrossFit is marketed now, and they're marketing that sort of workout. But people like you and me that have been training and doing conditioning for a long time already know that workout. And it goes by a lot of different names. Like circuit training. Basically, and those types of moves, along with like the Olympic lifting moves, not necessarily just Olympic lifting, but those types of motions, whether you're doing it with just one dumbbell or a whole bar, or even if you're using like sandbags, clean and jerks, like overhead squats, those sorts of things are the things that they really make me feel strong, and at the same time it's spiking your cardio in the sprint work type of way. So those are the moves that I like doing.
That's awesome. Now on the flip side, what exercise or workout that you hate doing, but you have to do it? You hate it, it's coming, but you have to do it. You have to.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me, believe it or not, it's going to tie into the same thing. Sprint work is paramount, but actually on the track doing the sprints, I find that to be so challenging, because in order to do it properly, you're going all out. Your arms, your back, your body, your legs, everything is moving as fast as it possibly can. And sure, there's technique to it. There's proper technique. There's ways to sprint that and good track people know. There's ways to sprint that are much more efficient, and so you take that efficiency, but then you push that even more, and so you're going as fast as you possibly can and pushing it to exhaustion. And the exhaustion that I feel after like a 400-meter sprint or something like that, as hard as I possibly can, knowing that I've got to jog back around and do it again, that's pretty rough, and I always dread those, but I do still like them because I know what kind of position they put me in cardiovascularly. So.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, man. That's awesome. I hear you. I'm getting goosebumps just hearing about that work. Okay, so that being said, what fight do you remember you being in the best condition for?
Well, I think throughout my career in the UFC, I've always been in good shape.
For sure.
And I've always trained as hard as I possibly could. This last fight that I had with Wyman, that was fight of the night, that went to the decision, I think I was in the best shape for that. I did my sprints, and I did all of my conditioning work, all my Olympic lifting movements, all the regular stuff. I did a lot of plyometrics, a lot of static strength moves as well, isometric stuff, and I just felt like that, along with the cardio that you get from sparring really hard, I was in amazing shape. So I felt great, and even though the decision was controversial, they gave it to Wyman. We both fought really well, and I feel like if I wouldn't have been in that kind of shape, I wouldn't have been able to keep pressing it the whole time.
Which you did.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, now I know you say you've been in great condition, but what fight do you remember being in the worst condition?
I think that I haven't been in really bad condition or even subpar condition for any fight in the UFC, but one time in an earlier fight that I had in a smaller organization, I fought a guy named Laverne Clark, and not a lot of people remember him. He's a boxer, but I fought him in 2004, I think, and man, I thought I prepared right, but I didn't, and you know, I think that is what triggered me to never ever be in poor shape again. I wouldn't say I was in bad shape. I was in good shape. I was in great shape for the average person.
Yeah.
But for a fight, there's nothing worse than being halfway through the first round and just being completely exhausted, lightheaded, delirious, and you know, that feeling really you know, stuck with me for a while, and I remembered it, and when I remembered it, I was like, man, you know, I'm never gonna let that happen again. So sometimes those things need to happen, even though they're bad, because it helps you learn, you know.
Okay, last question.
Yep.
Could wrap it up. Would you rather fight someone who is more conditioned and less skilled, or more skilled and less conditioned? You have to choose one. You have the choice.
Well,
He was giving it to you right here. Who you
it
fighting?
would depend on how less conditioned, because I'll fight the best person in the world if I know they're only going to last a minute. So you know, I think that's the key.
Okay.
Is to fight somebody that's completely out of shape. I'll fight anybody if they're out of shape.
All right, thanks a lot, Mac. I
All right,
appreciate
man.
it.
Take care, bro.